To be honest, in the grand scheme of my Europe trip, I almost didn't go to Venice. I was looking at going straight from Milan down to Florence and skipping it altogether, but my mum actually told me to go to Venice before they added a tourist tax, and I am infinitely grateful because I now would say it's possibly my favourite city in the whole world. Not because it's better than all the others, but because it's so incredibly distinctive in its own way, which makes it completely unforgettable. I arrived really late and had an early night after cooking myself some delicious pasta. On my first day in a new city, my favourite thing to do is to just walk around as much as I can, and other than researching online, make little notes of the things that I see and would like to do. Skinny dipping and giggling, baby you got those love eyes. I window shopped while I was doing this and just enjoyed walking around these incredible main streets and back streets that always seem to be packed with people. Venice is really small, but in reality it feels so large because there are always new places, new back alleys, little streets to explore that I think it would take you a good 6 months to even find every single street in the city. And this is only on the main island as well. My first little stop was at, and I'm so sorry for my pronunciation, Basilica di Sante Giovanni Polo. As someone who's been all through France and Italy, been to Saint-Chapelle in Paris, and has seen probably well over 100 churches now, to be honest, because I just keep wandering into them when I find them, this one's actually somehow my favourite of the entire trip. I'm not quite sure why, but it seemed to have this incredible grand atmosphere and space to it that the other churches also had, but just didn't seem to bring to life as much. On my wanderings through the city, I came across this little library, which I later looked up the name for, and I think it's pronounced Acqua Alta, which was tiny, but had old gondola boats for shelves, some of the coolest little souvenirs ever, and an area outside where there were steps made from books, which honestly mostly upset me, but was also kind of cool, that led right up to one of the canals. Afterwards, I stopped for some gelato. I came across the Rialto Bridge, which is incredibly stunning, and I got this shop which makes me incredibly happy because of how symmetrical it is and the tangible energy between the gondola guides who, wherever you were in the city, always seemed to be talking to each other and saying hello and asking each other how they were doing. Well, I washed my hair, and this is what happens when I wash my hair. It goes boof. Big boof. Professional blowout, you know. I don't even know what this looks like. It's so puffy! The next morning I booked a gondola ride and it was super crowded because there was actually a marathon on while I was there, which was pretty cool even though it made the city completely packed. I only went for a gondola ride in Venice because I know it's the thing to do, and I felt I would be a little disappointed because I do lots of whitewater kayaking at home, and I knew it probably wouldn't exceed my expectations in any way, shape or form, so I booked the cheapest one I could find, which was €35 to go in a boat with a few other people. The maximum they can charge you for a boat to yourself is €80, so I was pretty happy to save a bit of money. After that, I went to another incredible church, which was also pretty cool, and I cannot remember the name of it, and I could not find it on Google Maps, so feel free to search for it when you're in Venice. I found Canova's tomb as well, which was in the church. Actually, that should make it really easy for me to find it. Canova has the coolest tomb I've ever seen, and I've decided I would like one just like it. Next up, I headed to the Biennale, which is an art festival in Venice held every 2 years, representing artists from all across the world, so modern art. I personally have really mixed feelings on modern art. I enjoy a realistic style of painting more than anything else, where the painting seems to be so tangible or realistic that it could leap out at you and be a physical object. And I also love a lot of landscapes. My issue with modern art is that a lot of it seems to be about what it represents rather than what it actually is and the way in which it's interpreted, whereas to me it seems like a lot of the more traditional paintings are very representative of what they are and leave less room for interpretation, and the cohesion as a whole is somehow greater. So upon saying this, some of the exhibitions at Biennale didn't really strike my personal fancy, but there were some really cool ones in there which really surprised me and I enjoyed looking at, especially with such a wide variety of ideas represented and so many different methodologies of creation used. So regardless of your personal thoughts or feelings, I think it's incredibly worthwhile to check out. By far though my favourite exhibition, and unfortunately I can't actually remember what country it was this one called The Shape of Water or something similar, because it gave me a chance to play around in front of a projector and create something that felt like it could be in a music video and you'd have to pay lots of money to actually do, and you could just wander in and do it, which made me very happy.
The flowers in our hair, the buildings in the way they tower over me. Can't you see?
Overall, I had a wonderful day exploring the Biennale, and I am completely in love with Venice. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll have the second half of my Venice trip out next week.